I'm watching the video, and the first thing I thought was, why is the bread or the wafer, why is it in a cup of water? I want this to be real. I really do. I want this to be a miracle. I'm not skeptical all the time. My personality is naturally skeptical, but I'm not always. I don't just write things off. I've seen God do miracles. I've seen people give testimony. I've heard testimony given from people that we work with and interact with here who've told me they've had dreams and visions of somebody appearing to them, telling them to seek Jesus or read the Bible and affirming their decision to follow Christ. And so I am not a stranger to these phenomena taking place where God manifests himself in unique ways. I want to believe this is true. I don't want the largest denomination that claims to be Christian to be misleading people with these so-called Eucharist miracles. But that seems to be what's taking place. I did a little research and learned that if a wafer used in the Eucharist, if it falls on the ground, let's say, then the priest is instructed to pick it up, put it in a chalice with water so that it will dissolve. Once it dissolves, then it can be taken outside into a nearby garden and sprinkled on the garden. It's to be treated with reverence and respect. Catholics, after all, believe that this has literally become the blood, body, soul, divinity of Jesus. You don't want to just toss Jesus on the floor, right? Even if it's an accident, even if you accidentally drop the accident can be irreverent, right? So be very careful, take care, precautions, pick it up, treat it with respect. And so, as I'm looking at this, I say, okay, that makes sense. You put a wafer in water, it dissolves. But then you see these miracles. After it gets put in the water, instead of dissolving, there's this red, it's almost like a spotty mold that grows on bread. If you've ever seen that, mold will sometimes grow on breads and it comes out spotty in places. That's kind of what it looks like. But mold doesn't grow in moist environments, right? And mold is definitely not red, right? It turns out there actually is a bacteria, Serratia, marcescens, something like that. It thrives in moist, wet environments, and it grows on wafers or bread when it's put in the right conditions. And it has happened plenty of times where a wafer has fallen on the ground, it's put in a cup of water per the instructions of the church, and this red mold grows, and people think it's some sort of Eucharist miracle where the blood is being manifest in the wafer, which is just, it's deceptive, it's misleading, it's completely unnecessary. And y'all need to deal with this. Stop it. Stop it. Now, I know evangelicals, Protestants, the charismatic, name it, claim it crowd, the prosperity gospel. We've got our charlatans. We've got our guys out there misleading people to fleece the flock. You guys got it too.